Meanwhile, Trump's vice president has complimented China on its efforts to try and rein in North Korea's nuclear program. Washington had hit out at Beijing for not pressuring President Kim Jong-Un, but now Mike Pence has praised China for helping efforts to curb Pyongyang's actions in the area. However, that's where the compliments stopped.
China has taken some initial steps to bring economic and diplomatic pressure on North Korea, and we welcome those steps. It's heartening to see China take these actions, and we're hopeful that they will do more in the days ahead. While the United States is troubled by China's economic retaliation against businesses here in South Korea for taking appropriate steps to defend themselves, you may be assured we will continue to communicate to China that a better path for their country would be for them to join with us to address the circumstances in North Korea that make such defensive measures necessary.
Well, Pence has now arrived in Tokyo as part of his official tour of Asia. He will have a working lunch with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for discussions about security issues, with North Korea, of course, being top of the agenda. Pence also wants to increase U.S. access to Japanese markets and foreign investments. Let's get more on the visit with Mayu Yoshida, who is following the story closely from Tokyo. Mayu, good to see you. So talk us through this. We're expecting Mike Pence to have lunch with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. What is likely to be the focus?
Well, given that North Korea's recent actions, the central mission for Mike Pence's visit in Asia is simply reaffirmation of alliance, importance of solidarity, and the treaty commitments between the United States and Asian nations, especially between South Korea and Japan. So North Korea is very high on the agenda between the lunch meeting between Pence and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. So it's very important for Pence to reconfirm bilateral commitments. Now, before heading to Tokyo, Pence made a surprise statement which sort of hinted possibility of a military action in Pyongyang. That's after Pence said in Seoul that Washington have lost their patience on dealing with North Korea's recent actions by saying that the era of strategic patience is over regarding North Korea's recent actions. Now, according to headlines coming out as we speak, as Abe and Pence are having a lunch meeting, it looks like Abe conveyed to Pence that he supports Trump's stance that strategic patience with North Korea has run out, and also added that it is important to put pressure on Pyongyang. Now, Washington already told Japan last week that it will launch military strike on North Korea if needed. In that case, Tokyo will know in advance. However, despite aggressive comments from Washington, keep in mind that Japanese forces cannot take direct part in any sort of fighting outside the country based on Japan's constitution. So all in all, reaffirming their security alliance will be their main goal in Abe and Pence's meeting.
They're also going to be focusing on economic ties, aren't they?
That's right. Well, in Japan, the bigger focus is actually on investment and market access, and it's important for Washington to boost trade in the Asian region, even though President Trump killed the 10-nation Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Pact shortly after he took office. Now, pulling out of the TPP was actually a big pain for Japanese business groups because they believed that the pact would have dramatically reduced tariffs on U.S. goods, and they also believed that the pact would have opened new markets. So for Pence, his commitment during the economic dialogue with Japan's Deputy Prime Minister Taro Aso is to open doors in Japan for made-in-USA products and to attract more Japanese investment for infrastructure projects in the U.S. And they are expected to sign an agreement on boosting cooperation and investment in the areas of infrastructure and energy. But they are unlikely to go into details, as Tokyo wants to avoid talking about sensitive sectors such as agriculture and automobile markets. Now, Japanese business leaders are somewhat relieved that Pence is the one who's attending the economic dialogue instead of Trump, because the vice president is known for strong ties with Japanese business and political leaders. When he served as the governor of Indiana, he invited many Japanese firms to open plants and employ local staff. So analysts are sort of expecting Pence to apply this so-called Indiana model of attracting more investment from Japan Inc. To across the nation.
Okay, many thanks for that update. Mayu Yoshida there for us in Tokyo.